but I crave carbs. That's why I said you don't have to cut them. There's nothing that you have to cut. You just need to eat less calories in total. I don't know when people decided carbs were the devil. It's so weird. It's so weird how it just caught on like that because it's so false. Sometimes like I hear people talking about it and it's not like the right time for me to insert myself into the conversation. Like I was in the office the other day and these two women were talking about, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm just going to cut carbs. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to interject because this is not like, I'm not in this conversation. But I was like sitting there like fuming on the inside because I just can't believe that that's just something that everyone just believes. I don't know how we got here. It's just a rejection of the previous generation of diet advice, anti-fat. Yeah, and I totally get that. I've seen heaps of like docos and done heaps of research into it, so I understand it. But the anti-fat, anti-carb thing, it's all wrong because all it is about calories. I went to your bio through the TDE. How do I work out my BMI? Your BMI won't influence how many calories you need, but if you want to calculate BMI, just Google BMI. Or do you mean BMR? Because those are two different things. Your BMR is your basal metabolic rate. Yeah, I think they might mean BMR. Do you mean BMR? Because you can also Google BMR calculator, and basically you never ever want to be eating less calories than your BMR because your BMR is the amount of energy that you need to actually just like carry out your basic bodily functions. If you're eating under that, then you're pretty much putting your body into like, BMR. Yeah. You're going to put your body in a position where it can't even perform the basic things and it's like slowly going to shut down and you won't be able to think straight because your body is just fighting to survive at that point. So you want to be eating somewhere between your BMR and your TDEE if you're in a calorie deficit. So you can either approach this in one of two ways. You can go on an aggressive deficit, which is like 500 calories or more under your maintenance, and you'll be able to drop weight faster, but it's less sustainable. Or you can eat just a couple hundred calories less. This depends on how much weight you have to lose as well. You can eat a couple hundred calories less over a longer period of time. It'll feel more sustainable. You'll be able to eat more, but it'll just take longer. Yeah, you can do a DEXA scan to get a more accurate BMR, but in the meantime, you can just Google BMR calculator. I think my BMR personally is like 1,500 and my TDEE is like 2,200. So I would never eat any less than 1,500 calories, which I would never do anyway. I don't recommend it unless you've done this before. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either. And because the other risk of the aggressive approach is that it can easily lead to a bad relationship with food. It can lead to like a binge restrict cycle. So if you're constantly under eating and restricting, it is more likely to lead to a binge. And that's why I would recommend a bit of a less aggressive approach, a bit more sustainable. Are you a PT? Just well versed in this stuff. I'm a nutrition coach, but I'm not a PT. Who's saying BMI or BMR? We're talking about BMR, which is the basal metabolic rate. BMI is like when you plug in your height and weight and it tells you whether your weight is healthy for your height based on like, I can't believe I'm going into it, but like based on a basic benchmark, but it doesn't take into account things like muscle mass. So technically my BMI actually looks quite high because I have a lot of muscle for someone that's my height. So BMI isn't actually the best indicator of health, especially if you have a lot of muscle. But yeah, BMR is a totally different thing. BMR is your basal metabolic rate, which basically means the amount of energy that your body would burn sitting in bed all day doing nothing, just to function. So that essentially means you want to at least be eating that many calories to keep your body functioning. Anyway, guys, I am going to take my pre. And then we will go to the gym. Well, I will go. We won't go. Can we see Viola before you go? You can. She is sleeping. Viola, hi. Hello. Oh my God, she just tucked herself in. 2,480 BMR, are you jealous? I am. Just stuck with all the information as I need to lose 20 kilos. Chrissy, you can message me on Instagram if you have more questions. I'm very happy to help you out. I know that there's a lot of misinformation and it's just so overwhelming, right? Like there's just so much information that, yeah, it's really hard to know what to actually listen to. And I learned this all the hard way as well because I had no idea what I was doing and I tried all the wrong things. So I know what to look out for. I lost over 30 kilos a couple years back and it's freaking hard. It is. It's a mental game. And that's why if anyone ever tries to sell you a quick fix,